Hey everyone, Temporal here, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to use this replay code that was supplied to review Awkward. Awkward is usually a contenders player. I used to bump into him when we were scrimming and playing against Triumph, and he'll sit towards the top of the leaderboard. I think he was top 3 recently, something like that. Anyway, this is a high-level Zen player. This is a professional level Zen player. So let's see what we've got here and enjoy the show. If you guys are liking the content, please do feel free to like and subscribe. Or if you're looking to get professional coaching for yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below and see what my rates look like. So he's up here. He's looking for a right click. This is probably a touch early for most characters' movement speeds, and you do see he cancels that first one with a kick. If he'd thrown that off, he'd probably have gone 1 to 2 orbs into the ball, who did happen to be there, but ball moves a lot faster than most heroes. And ball isn't a hero that he was going to be able to get a pick off with, which is what you're going for when you're throwing right clicks into a choke like this. So I understand why he canceled this one. I expect he'll throw this one because the timing's better. And you can see that. I'll rewind that because it's kind of fast. In fact, we might need to play this game a little slower for people.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
So he cancels that one, and then you're going to see he's hopping above the balloons. He sees motion there, and because he sees someone there, he can see that there's motion, there's some sort of body there. He goes, okay, you don't want to fire there because you're using a projectile, and that person just broke the line of sight, so he adjusts to the middle of the legs. Now, the middle of the legs isn't perfect because it's a pretty narrow thing that he has to shoot through, so we can't really adjust. When you are looking at... Ooh, I don't know why that did that. When you're looking at here, a choke like this, you generally want to drag your orbs a little to the left because you kind of expect people to break the plane and walk a little left, not just break the plane and immediately walk forward. That's the more likely motion path, so you drag them a little to the left. You don't have a ton of room to drag to the left here, so he does the best of what he can in this gap. I know it's kind of a bigger gap, but that's from here, not from where he is. So that is, okay, the best he can make of that, and that is just fine. Let's go back to Awkward here. And is he going to stay here or is he going to leave after that? He's going to charge another one. That's a 3 orb. I don't like the 3 orb. The thing about Zen's charging right clicks is there's a delay to it. There's the time charging, which is fine, but then there's the lockout animation of hua, and he's thrown out his orbs and he kind of delays for a half second there. And you get that delay whether you throw 1 orb, 2 orbs, 5 orbs, doesn't matter. So generally, you can potentially do, real pick-off work, find picks with 4 or 5 orbs there if you get the Discord on at least. You're not going to find picks with 2 orbs or 3 orbs like were thrown there, so it's generally not worth working up the delay on it, etc. When you're throwing right clicks, you are generally looking to get picks, or you're charging because, there's a Zarya bubble in your way, a Genji deflects in your way, etc., and you're converting the time. Right clicks are for pickoffs, and you charge in safety, etc. He wasn't charging in safety in there because he's in line of sight, so it's just lower uptime, just less orbs thrown, etc. If you're charging, most of the time you should be getting up to a 4 or a 5 orb. So let's see if that continues to be an issue here for Awkward. Well, looks like it. We've immediately got another 3 orb, and a 3 orb that he didn't have to throw. If you look at that, there's no one there, but there doesn't have to be someone there when you're throwing a 5 orb into a choke like that. But he could have totally stayed back here to charge this up to a 4 or 5 orb, and then peaked when it was charged to 4, and then thrown it or charged it to 5. So it was weird that he only went for a 3 here. He's adjusting, looking for another angle. He saw a flash of ball there, but he thinks McCree has it, I guess. No Discord there. That's a little surprising. He was left-clicking. He could have weaved it for the wall hack. I can live with it. That's another 3 orb, but the target's right there. Yeah, I can live with it. Looks like he went for the Discord but didn't get it and then immediately swaps to ball. That's good. He doesn't break the plane there. This is wrong. So he breaks the plane with his. He breaks the plane, sees the Ash up there, and starts charging his right click. The beauty of right click is you can charge your right click while you're back here behind cover, and then peek and just quickly adjust your aim and fire it. And Awkward is good enough to late adjust his aim and hit that shot or go for that shot, etc. There's no need for him to be starting the charge of his right click when enemies can see him. Again, one of the big benefits is you can do it behind cover where they can't see you, because it's less total uptime for getting damage out. You get less damage out than if you were throwing left clicks the whole time, but you get some amount of safety by charging back here, and that's the trade you're making. The only thing that makes this a little bit better is that his McCree is sort of body blocking for him. That's probably not McCree's intended goal, but Awkward may be going, hey, it's bad to be out here, but since my McCree's literally in the way and the shots that would be meant for me are going to hit him instead, and they wouldn't really be shots meant for him, they'd be shots meant for the McCree, and he might just be using the fact that his McCree is here to get a little more information with his peak, etc. That said, I don't think it was necessary. I think we're in a situation where the Ash was here 2-3 seconds ago and is unlikely to have moved when he peaked to deal with this stuff, or when he peaked to actually be fighting the Ash earlier, and there's a Sigma here. So if he just charges this up to 4 or 5 orbs and then peaks, there's still probably going to be an Ash there, and if there's not, he drags down real quick and throws at the Sigma. He did not need to, in this situation, peak to start charging these orbs. Oh. And then he throws a 1 orb. So I don't like that. And he throws that 1 orb. He throws that single orb after he had started, like, he was already drifting out when he started charging that. So that's a case of absolutely should not have started to charge in the first place, just decreased his total damage done, his total uptime by even starting that charge. And that's already appearing in the first 30 seconds of this game to be something that Awkward could really work on a bit in terms of his right click versus left click selection. I've obviously seen much, much worse when it comes to Zen players. Awkward is a very good player, but this is potentially something he could be improving on. So that was pretty good game sense that he went, okay, here, I'm charging stuff. I could throw something out here. No, I'm going to throw it this way instead. I don't think he actually connected any shots, but I don't particularly mind that he didn't connect any shots. This is what we talked about, the bad single orb into that. This is interesting too. So you'll notice he moves the Discord from the Ash to the Sigma before it's timed out. And that would be okay with me if he was then going to drill the Sigma here. You can see it. Yeah, he's moving the Discord. Sorry, I could see it traveling through the air. But the instant he moves it, he's afraid of that Mercy boosted Ash re-peeking and shooting him. So he closes the angle again. And if you were that concerned about the Ash re-peeking and eliminating you, then in that case you can just leave the Discord on the Ash as your wall hack, and you'll be able to see, you'll know if that Ash is looking to re-peek, and it's better to keep drilling the Sigma with non-Discord boosted orbs than it is to go, the instant I put the Discord on the Sigma instead of the Ash, I'm afraid of the Ash, so I'm going to stop shooting at the Sigma. Like that seems like a mental mistake there. He hears the footsteps of the Tracer, so this is good. He makes the adjustment, and we'll slow this down just so people can see. He doesn't hit any of those shots, so really doesn't get more out of that than forcing a blink, but it was still a good right decision. And then he does get the body shot there, and a nice shot there. Good. Obviously with some help from his McCree. He wasn't really punishable there. As you see, he has his McCree buddy. Where did his McCree buddy? His McCree buddy's up here and was able to contribute, etc. So good positioning, good hearing of the footsteps. Again, don't like that he's charging out in the open like this. There's no reason that he can't find his target when he's already charged up to 4 or at least 3 orbs, and he can do it at 4 or 5 orbs. Like, there's a delay. You can hold 5 orbs for a bit as Zen, and once you get to 4, you can at the very least use that 4 peak. This is early. There's no need, and he's not going to have another flanker come get him. He just dealt with the Tracer. The ball's not going to come push him, even if he doesn't know where ball is after his Tracer just went down. And he now does know where ball is. So again, he shot a light, poorly charged, only partway charged thing there. Shouldn't have gone into that right click in the first place. Yeah, that's again. He peeks to see if they're there before he starts charging his right click, and then he ends up only charging a 1. And that's just a delay in uptime on Zenyatta. You guys see how much longer that delay is when you throw a single orb like that? It's something you want to be trying to avoid. This is a habit that it will reward his Zenyatta if he can break those. This is fine. He starts charging it while he's got full cover behind everyone. But at this point, you want to just go ahead and get it up to your at least 4 orbs at this point. Don't do this 3 orb like he's doing here. I'm a little surprised he's keeping this open rather than drifting right to close the sight line, but maybe that's just to get the Harmony out. Okay, that might have just been to get the Harmony out. Okay, so this is over. Oh, and he threw that to the left in case there was a flanker, which there is, but the timing was wrong. Good. Got the Discord. Ball's hard to get, meaningful 4 or 5 orbs onto. Just the pacing is so different than how other characters move.
Objective lost.
Good.
Stop the payload.
Speed on light, but you do not have to.
See the TNT, good. Okay, and he knows he can't go into a charge there. That's good. He immediately goes for this even though he's behind. So, he gets caught, not the end of the world. We can relook at it to see, was there an audio cue that he missed? Was there anything of that sort? He's rotating to try to get closer to his team. It's a little dangerous to be separated from his team, to have gone on that long flank like he did against a team that has Tracer and Ball, but I get it. This team also has Ashe, who's dangerous if he stays in the open. So you do hear the footsteps there, but you hear them only an instant before he starts taking damage. You see he's at 188. Gets that Discord on immediately. Doesn't hit any of his shots, but in terms of where he's putting his shots, totally reasonable.
Adversity is an opportunity for change.
I mean, we can re-look at that again.
Adversity is an opportunity for change.
Okay, reasonable. Yeah, that's a lot of time that he's pre-peeking it. Like, if he was moving forward during this, and this was just part of, hey, I'm charging these as I move going forward, that would be one thing. But he's spending a lot of time looking at the targets, and he doesn't need to be looking for the percentage of time that he is while he's charging those right clicks. Again, same thing. That one was better. Okay, better. And now you're shifting into left clicks and you're timing it around his fire speed. That's good.
I need healing.
You're not going to get this right click off. Yeah, you can't go for that. Okay, that's fine. So the ball is what got him, I believe, from the side there. But I actually didn't like that he was peeking there in general. He was down to 55 health. They knew where he was. They were holding the bead on him. It was going to be better to let his shield start to recover, even if it meant discords, etc. fell off. You hear the Tracer to your right. That's the bigger threat. Yeah.
The outcome is not preordained. Open your mind.
Okay. Better right click use. That's an early peek, but we'll live with it. Oh, that's a nice little angle we got there. That's Cute one. Good judgment in this Tracer fight. That was mostly appropriate, except that I don't like. Let's watch the last fire there. So that's fine. That's fine. He thought he was peeking out for there. Good. I think that barely hit a 4 orb. That might have been a 3. Okay, you can hear the Tracer to your right, so he should actually... I mean, this is a beautiful limb here, so I'm not going to complain about it, but you actually could hear the Tracer to the right, so he probably did need to swing right immediately and start drifting this way to close the sightline from these opponents while he fights this Tracer and, you know, throws that potential orbs at Kevster over here. But he does immediately signal that, guys. Notice that, you lower Zen players. He doesn't go, oh, I can take this Tracer, I'm going to fight them. He immediately is like, no, Mercy, come pocket me. That's your job. And in doing so, he's able to get through what I believe was a reload there. And that Tracer is going to leave him alone for a moment because he got some damage. And then the fight's over because he goes for the Transcendence to this. Okay.
Step right up.
I mean, this is where he finishes his trans. I actually like this. I thought he was going to go back and give that McCree a touch of healing rather than push up here, but this was a totally fine place to end this. Yeah, Tracer can't fight him in here. Not with the map control that his team has. Okay, so he's aware of that ball. How's he going to adjust? He's going to keep his Mercy in line of sight. His McCree's reacting too. I don't know if his McCree saw it or he called it on comms. His McCree's in a fine place. I'd like to move this Harmony back to the ball here, honestly.
Activating the barrier.
His McCree has enough help.
Walk in harmony.
And he sees the ball in front of him, so he doesn't have to be as worried about the left anymore. Can he close that angle? He can. Okay, that was fine. That's gone. Is he going to move his Harmony Orb anywhere? Or is he just going to fight this out? Yeah, so I don't like that he didn't move his Harmony Orb anywhere there. You can cancel like 70 to 90% of the application animation for Harmony and Discord Orb there. So even if he just threw it onto his McCree, which would have cost him basically nothing, that's probably worth there. And this is a long time with no orbs out. You know, throw it on his Mercy to make her harder to dive, throw it on his McCree to enable him better, or put it on his ball now that he's got ball on his screen.
Tranquility.
Yeah. There was a flash on his screen where he could have seen that Tracer and flicked to the left there, but it was a very minor flash.
Into the iris. A temporary setback.
Good. Reasonable Harmony target, and he swaps it over to the DPS who needs it more as soon as the Sigma is out of trouble. Sigma gets back in trouble, but that's fine. It was a good juggle. You don't need to open this. Like, you have the better spawns. This is a needless risk. There's enough of these guys in play that if they get another elimination, they're going to push you, but the fight is relatively balanced right now and your team is up. So I don't like the sort of needless risk here. If you're going to do some peeking with orbs, charged orbs, that's fine. If you're going to play a different angle than your team, like here, maybe that's fine. I don't like this playing the same angle as your Ashe and risking it by being out here and just chucking left clicks because it leaves you exposed for so long. Okay, we're adjusting our positioning. That's good. Take the wider angle.
Peace be upon you.
So again, I think this peak was a touch early, but only a hair. It's a lot better than some of the other stuff we've seen. And then he's going to throw it at the ball. Doesn't hit, but I don't care. That's good too. That was much less good. He was already charging. At that point, it's probably a case of close it, continue to charge, reopen it, and throw it. Not getting any Discord orbs out there from there. Good Harmony Orb adjustment into the Trans. Should be able to fight off this. It's a reasonable finishing position. Speed away. Okay, that's regular. Okay. This is gonna be tough. I hope he immediately presses X again. Okay, Kami's on him. I want to see that orb actually. Okay, so he had to reload into this and he's at half health. He is able to hit the health back, plus Kami does come get him. Okay, and then he's going to throw a 4 orb here. Maybe. 1, 2. No, not a 4 orb. Okay, so a 3 orb. And he does try to break the line of sight for his cancel animation, or, you know, for his arms extended animation. I'm surprised he bothered to throw a shot this way rather than immediately returning on this Tracer. I guess he feels the Tracer is going to leave because, hey, that's a decent number of blinks that have been spent. That's a decent number of blinks that have been spent, and the Mercy's clearly paying some attention to him, but he wasn't out of the woods yet. So I'm a little surprised that this shot went this way rather than closing this angle on this team and throwing that shot this way, but that's fine. Now he's back to worrying about it. So it was a timing thing where he thinks that Kevster is going to wait for a second out of line of sight to get a blink back and to let a little more Valkyrie tick down before he goes in there. That's fine. And he's rechecking it after every volley. I like that. Okay, and he sees it immediately. Discord's a touch slow there. Mercy first. Yep. And now up to, it's going to be your Ashe is in more trouble, but because you changed the angle, Sigma's the only choice. Surprised there wasn't a cycle to McCree there, but that's fine. It's because your mind was on the Ashe that you wanted to get to. Cool. Okay. I don't care that he didn't touch cart. You're not going to meaningfully stall it. And if you want to get back into the match, this is the positioning you needed. If he'd had trans, he'd have gone and touched it, I'm sure.
Switching sides.
So we're going to get ourselves well, let's see. 17, yeah, that probably does an overtime round.
Initiating match. Ready for battle.
Well, I
Maybe not.
suppose I'll be patching you up
Now
as
to
usual.
strike.
Let's bring it together. Attackers incoming. Defend.
Oh, are we playing? Okay, so that was just the speed amp. I was going to be like, awkward Lucio. Is that going to be a thing today? That's a good one. He had the charge timing right on that for hitting that angle. Close the angle. Close the angle. Yeah. I don't like quite how much he's risking this, but his tank had gone through there, so it was unlikely that someone was going to peek that. That said, it was not particularly unlikely that someone, like say Ball, was waiting up here and couldn't come in for a, swing through slam, etc. So I would have preferred that he'd closed the angle a bit more and been charging a right click during this. Here, I'll show you what I mean. I don't know if I explained that well enough. So that's great. Follow-ups are fine, goes for the reload. This is the point at which I say, hey, it's time to start charging another right click. You're burning. Don't push out into the open here. But maybe he sees that the Mercy Beam is on him and he goes, that's enough. I think the Mercy Beam is going to stay on me. I don't, because I see other people are also burning and they're probably going to get capped off and he's going to continue to burn down. So I'd have preferred to be charging there, which I guess he was. I guess I didn't give him quite enough credit there. That's a straight shot rather than a leading shot, but that's reasonable for that choke. Back to normal speed. Yeah, you can push it with your McCree, don't push it on your own. Interesting. Yeah, go help him out. Let's take another look at that. You get the harmony there, but I don't think you keep this open. I don't. Like, if your ball's in that type of shape, you know that there's a real fight going on out here, and you don't want to, yeah. Like, this was okay, you can play this corner if you want. I get that you don't want to be here for the Sigma. It's just a rough situation to be in. Yeah, if you stay here, the Sigma gets you. If you go here, I guess this was the better place to be in. You've got the 3v2, and then you can try and drop over here or something like that. That is better than staying here where the Sigma is going to fight you with his shield and you have no chance of getting out. Okay, bad choices all around. I think the real problem was he probably fell too far behind his McCree at the top there, but that's pretty minor.
Embrace tranquility.
He sees it and he adjusts to what's an unusual angle, but he hits it. That's fine. Good. I don't think you guys have earned... Let me rephrase this. Your team has not earned this space. This is... Unless your team is calming really well where their tracer is and things, your team has not taken enough space to justify you guys being here. If your team had better control up here already or had looped people around here, I'm totally good with this. Your team does not have enough control. Plus you've got the, what is that? You've got your hog down and you've got Ashen Spawn, was it? I know I saw someone back here. There we go. And you've got Mercy just coming out of spawn. Like, this is not space that you can be reasonably holding. You are more likely to get staggered here. This is a tough rotation on a good day. This is not the time or place to be doing this. And this isn't like last second have to push time either. Yeah, here you can play from. It's not lovely. You want better spots, but you can't. You haven't earned them yet as a team. That was good. You've got a little too much focus on you to be staying here. Okay.
I require medical attention.
Good. Converts into left clicks there. Unfortunate that we lost our Zen. That's going to make this tough. So the aggressive angle would be to go left, but I think you're going to play the conservative. Yeah, I'm glad you did. Now, however, you should take this 2v1, definitely. You still win this. Good. Okay, just leave. You guys are going into the meat grinder here. You're not making any successful rotations. Like, get your full reset, get your 6v6, get to the place where you can start to rotate up multiple angles and get your crossfires. Like, this isn't terrible, but ultimately their positioning is better than yours just by the nature of the map.
This is not fair.
And you can't really grind your way in when you're down people like this. Okay.
Do something.
Ooh, that was rough. Your ball booped him in. You had great positioning for him. Okay, that's fine. It wasn't a great bob in the first place. Okay, now your team should be able to take some space, let you rotate in. I don't love the up-left rotation here. It's a valid thing. I'd have preferred the top-right stuff that you guys were doing earlier, but that's fine. You can do it.
60 seconds.
Reasonable peak for you, and hey, your Ashe took the shot for you, so hey.
Let's get you back
Okay.
in the fight. Heroes never.
So we're Valking to make progress. I don't love it, but I understand it at this point. It's better than spending trans to make progress. Ult banks are pretty even though, so this is part of it is gonna get used to take space.
Helden sterben nicht.
Willing to push even while on fire because of the Valk. Nice.
I'm in the zone.
Fine. You're up enough people that it's fine.
30 seconds. Remaining. Objective A captured. Escort the payload.
Okay, if your ball's going in front of you, you're going for a cute angle. Nothing there. Correct understanding, though, that is, I know in a lot of lower level games, you guys are missing that, hey, missing simply going on the high ground. Like, it's amazing how high you have to go on the ladder before people understand that controlling that high ground is critical to this point. So I like that he was looking on that rather than on the deep low ground for the shot. That Ashe. Were we just late on the Discord? It's hard for me to believe he missed enough shots that she was the problem. Let's take another look at that.
The payload moves.
Enemies being revived.
Do something.
No, the Discord is on time. That's a miss, then a body shot, then another body shot, 2 more body shots. Okay, so just didn't hit any headshots, unfortunately, which means she gets out alive. Well, she doesn't because it looks like Bob gets her. Okay. I'm surprised a target that was mostly standing still survived against him that long, is basically what's going on. It's fine. You can push the offense into this. She's out of blanks. I mean, not out of blanks, but she's in a bad situation and you have map control. But yes, she is gone at this point. There's no way she gets out against the bow and tracer. Yep. And that's a nice stagger that you guys have. Grind out your advantage, play it conservatively. Which means deal with the ball behind them like they did.
Everybody come over here.
Oh, this could be bad. You don't have anywhere to go. And you were caught during a reload. Okay. I don't know why you, knowing that this was here, turned and fought this way rather than going further back here where you'd have cover available. Where you'd have cover available in case they repeat, or where you could slide in and hit from here where that Zen didn't have any sort of line of sight on you. That was a mistake. Like, that was comfortably a mistake. Now, I see that you have friends up there that maybe you thought were going to deal with that Zen, so that Zen wasn't going to be a problem for you anymore, but that was kind of greedy. fine. You get enough value out of that. Harmony Orb on the Tracer, Discord Orb on the Tracer, yeah.
Heroes never die.
Nice shot.
Payload has reached the checkpoint.
This is not the end.
It's fine. Usually I'd like a quick check to your left, but I guess you did just see in the feed that their Tracer went down. There it is, that bad habit showing up again.
I stick up for mine.
So there was a single orb thrown. Single orb right click thrown through there. That's a bigger one. Move the Harmony Orb. Charging up a right click. Double right click thrown. Why? Why is there a double right click thrown here? We can just drift back, wait behind cover till we're at 4 or 5, and then peek and throw it. There's definitely going to be a target available. There is definitely going to be a target available if you wait until you have 4 or 5 before you throw this orb. Like, no question. I do like his drifts. He has some good drifts around the timing of Zen's shots to sort of go back behind cover a little between them. Again, that's a 3 orb. You don't want those. Those want to be avoided. If you find yourself charging an orb and you're like, oh, I'm already at 2 orbs, just go back behind cover and then re-peek when you're at 4 or 5. It's a 2 orb. It's a bad sequence out of you here, Awkward. But that's good because it means you've got something meaningful to improve on. And guys, when I say it's a bad sequence out of Awkward, Awkward again is an amazing player. He's very good at Overwatch, but you know, I'll be critical of anyone. Like that's what I do. I find issues with the pros play. I find issues with bronze play. That's what I do. No one gets to take this as license to go, oh, Awkward, you're terrible. He's definitely not. It's a 4 orb, little better. Not at his discorded target, which is a little interesting, but
I've got you.
I'm glad he didn't start charging a right click there, but he's in trouble here. Okay, that's good. The ball put enough pressure on the Sigma that, you know, Sigma was uncomfortable there, and then the Tracer didn't get work done while he was pocketed. That's nice. Again, I'm not sure why you peaked this early. Like, you were charging, and that was fine, but you were charging back here. Get up to 4 orbs before you peak. Like, that's all you gotta do. Get up to 4 orbs before you peak. You don't want to be in these situations where you're too likely to be throwing a 3 orb, which is exactly what happens.
There is disquiet in your soul. I need healing.
No, yeah. Okay. That was correct to be a cancel on that. You didn't want to stay out there. You needed cover. Yeah. Which you were going for. I mean, the Ash barely tagged the side of him. He was using this cover pretty well against the majority of the threat, which is forward and to the right. But, you know, this is why angles are so powerful. As the enemy team gets bigger and more extreme angles, they can make your cover worse and worse. It's part of why they're so good. Oh, I'm in slow-mo, right?
Pain is an excellent teacher.
I don't mind canceling that. That's fine. When you cancel right clicks like that with a kick, you're doing so because you want to keep a secret that you're still there. Which means you think you're going to have a better shot in a moment. Better. Even if you miss the shots and couple shots into the ground there. I like that the right versus left click is being handled correctly. Where's your harmony? Oh, there you go. Good. Little surprised we didn't get Discord out there, but that's fine. You should heal your mercy. Good. And you're just gonna turn this into a trans, which they're gonna match. That's fine. Where are you gonna finish this trans? Ooh, unfortunate. Good. I would have liked that Discord an instant faster, but that's okay. You can't peek that side. Ooh, that was dangerous. That Ashe was watching you. Like you were better off peeking this side because that Ashe was watching you. But you know, very minor thing.
Gaze into the eye.
10 seconds remaining.
Good. Better. Good. Some real pressure there. You're gonna have to move your orbs, both of them. This is just give you rough.
Helden sterben nicht. Healing stream engaged.
Okay.
Under attack.
Hanging your mercy a little out to dry there, but everyone's in trouble. I get it. Okay.
Victory.
So, overall, an interesting game. I certainly enjoyed watching that. The biggest takeaway is going to be, and you know, if Awkward sees this, the biggest takeaway is going to be that, hey, there are too many right clicks that aren't reasonably charged going out there, and you face that delay regardless of whether you charge. If you charge up a 1 right click, you're like that, or if you charge up a 5 right click, you go like that, and it's a fair amount of uptime lost for those things. So there's a trade to be made there. That's going to be the big thing. We obviously saw some other micro things, etc., but not to the point at which they were patterns. So yeah, that's going to be the big thing, and that's how it works when you're reviewing clothes. You go over a fair amount of footage and you find one thing really for them to work on, but you point out the other things and you sort of go, okay, if I continue to see this when I review other footage, maybe we'll make that the next thing, etc. Because as you're improving, as you're at the top of Overwatch, you're making smaller and smaller adjustments. You're spending, you know, the time to make smaller and smaller adjustments because there are less and less big fixes to make there. But anyways, if you guys are enjoying the content, do feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Or if you are just looking to get coaching yourself, that's great too. You can join my Discord in the description below, and down there you'll see what my rates look like. Thanks guys. Temporal out.